as Patrese went past him, and I think that might be a little bit of tactical error, because the only reasons I can think of for doing that are a little touch of ego, because Patrese has been quicker than him in the first 4 races, or largely this season, which must rankle, and alternatively, just the fact that sitting out there such a big lead, he's bored and he wants to have a bit of fun, because it is more fun to follow somebody. But one worries that that's putting an unnecessary strain on the mechanical components of the car. He's got a big lead, and really he should be nursing that lead. As we look at Ayrton Senna, who, unlike a lot of Grand Prix drivers, hasn't jumped straight in his plane and gone to wherever. He's stayed with it and he's watching the race, but then maybe he doesn't book early flights these days, with expecting his McLaren to finish every time.
Yes, Riccardo Patrese is actually out-qualified. You're looking at Piquet now, who is in second place, of course, 50 seconds behind Mansell. He really hasn't got a hope of catching the Englishman, but he's keeping going at racing pace. And Mansell has actually been out-qualified for a variety of reasons by Riccardo Patrese, his teammate, at every one of the 5 Grand Prix this year. And in a situation where Mansell is alleged to be paid £6 million a year and Patrese is alleged to be paid about 700,000, that's quite a differential. And Mansell will obviously be wanting to show that he is indeed the quicker man.
And Mansell's back in front, so Mansell has gone past Patrese, which means I would suggest that Patrese is in some sort of trouble. Could be his neck. He had a very nasty bang on Friday, and he certainly isn't fully fit, but he has definitely slowed down. So Patrese slowed down, Mansell is soldiering on. Mansell has just put up a new fastest lap for the race, so he certainly speeded up as Patrese went past him and he went with him. So really that wasn't totally professional of Mansell to be putting in fast laps when he really didn't need them late in the race.
1:22.385, which is just 0.3 of a second outside Gerhard Berger's lap record. But Mansell doesn't have to worry about the lap record. He is almost metaphorically within sight of the checkered flag now for his 17th Grand Prix victory here at Canada.
Yes, I fear the Patrese assault on his ego without qualifying every time made him go for that fastest lap, because Patrese previously had it. But all seems to be well, but those sort of things can bite you back in this business when... and Modena, yes, and Patrese certainly is in trouble, because Modena is catching Patrese for his place, and that means Modena moves up into 3rd place.
Yes, race order now. It's academic, because Nigel Mansell is almost home for his 17th Grand Prix win, but it's Mansell leading, Piquet in 2nd place, Modena up into 3rd position, Patrese down to 4th, De Cesaris is still 5th, and 6th is still Bertrand Gachot, as Nigel Mansell goes through now to start his last victorious 2.7-mile lap at Canada. And Mansell, of course, won here in 1986. He's waving to the crowd. He's going to win again.
Yes, well, he certainly waited patiently for this, Mansell. He's had a rotten start to the season, went beautifully in Brazil, only to be dogged by mechanical trouble, gearbox trouble with the Williams early on, but they seem to have it right now, and this would be a well-deserved win for both Mansell and the Williams team.
You can hear the crowd whooping in the background. Mansell is almost home now, past the Concorde Bridge, then the Metro Bridge, into the hairpin, and then he's just got the straight alongside the Olympic rowing strip with the lake on his right to go through and complete lap 69 to victory in Canada. And he's going to beat Nelson Piquet by some 50 seconds. He's taking the hairpin very... He's stopping! Nigel Mansell, just a few hundred yards from the flag on the last lap. He's stopping, he's banging his steering wheel in frustration. Something has happened. It looks as though he's out of the race.
It looks like he might be out of fuel. But he seemed to be looking down as he came to the hairpin, which is, of course, where his controls of the gearbox are, and that's been the Achilles heel. But fuel, it could be. It's high on fuel, the consumption of the circuit.
Nelson Piquet is going to win in Canada. He won in Japan. Japan last year. He won in Australia last year. That was in the old Benetton. Here he is. Here is Nelson Piquet. Now, when he passes Nigel Mansell, and he's going to very shortly, it will be on his way to win an astounding last lap development at Montreal, and Nelson Piquet is going to make it 3 victories in a very short time, which means to say that Stefano Modena there comes up into second place. Well, here's Piquet. He is almost home now. He's going to he passes Mansell's Williams. Piquet is nearly there. What bitter gall for Mansell as Nelson Piquet, the oldest man in the race. He's already 3 times world champion. He was 3rd in Phoenix, he was 5th in Brazil, and he is 1st in Canada. Nelson Piquet wins for Benetton, he wins for Ford, and he wins for Pirelli, and it's a long time since the Italian firm had a victory. And that is Riccardo Patrese coming home in 3rd place. Stefano Modena has finished in 2nd position. Riccardo Patrese finishes 3rd, and a bitterly disappointed Nigel Mansell gets out of the car as Andrea De Cesaris comes through to finish in 5th position. Behind him is teammate Gasho, so Eddie Jordan will be overjoyed. He has now got the points he needs. Well, so victory for Nelson Piquet, Modena 2nd, Riccardo Patrese 3rd in Canada, then the 2 Jordans, and Nigel Mansell finishes 6th, 1 lap down. Oh dear, I feel so sorry for Mansell, but obviously you feel delighted for Nelson Piquet.
I got the news from the radio that Mansell is slowing down, and I just had to push again the last lap, but when I saw him, I couldn't believe it. It was very good, very lucky.
You must feel a bit sorry for Nigel, though.
Well, I don't feel sorry for nobody. This thing happened to me already. I think it's motor racing. I think a winner who finished in the checkered flag first.
Well, the Benetton Ford finished when many of the top teams didn't. No McLarens, no Ferraris. You must be very pleased with your car.
Well, I can say it was 2 Williams in front of us and 1 McLaren, because I passed both Ferrari and my car was very competitive until then. Well, my car was not very good to compete with the Williams, but I was 5 seconds from Senna all the way until he stopped. And the car is getting much better, and I think Williams Renault did a good improvement, and they are a little bit in front.
So the season is going to be much more open from now on?
Well, it depends of Williams. I think they have to catch up with in the points with McLaren.
Thank you very much. Riccardo, you stopped to pick up Nigel. Did you find out what had happened?
I didn't speak with him, but I suppose it was a gearbox trouble, and it's the same trouble that I had for the last 15 laps and very badly for the last 5 laps, that I couldn't get gear changing down. And I feel quite sorry for Nigel and especially for the team, because I think today Williams was really superior to anybody, and unfortunately we couldn't catch the win.
And how did you feel with your neck after your accident?
Well, I was a bit painful, but I think that I was still competitive, and as you see, I finished the race, and now I have 2 weeks to recover, so it's no problem.
Well, that's a bit different, isn't it? Victory for Nelson Piquet, Modena 2nd, Patrese 3rd, then the 2 Jordans, De Cesaris and Gasho 4th and 5th, and Nigel Mansell a disconsolate 6th position. And that means to say that in the Drivers' World Championship, Ayrton Senna is now 24 points ahead of Piquet, who has moved up. Prost, who has moved down. Patrese and Berger tying for 4th, with Modena in 6th position and Nigel Mansell in 7th place. McLaren, of course, lead the Constructors' Championship by a terrific margin, but now it's from Benetton, with Williams moving up to 3rd, Ferrari moving down